What's up, guys? Subzarek here, back for another VOD review, and today we're doing the Bio Luke or So Bio VOD review. If you guys aren't familiar with this player, he went third overall in Tacticians Cup 3, and I mean, third's good, but why am I reviewing Socks or Prest event? Well, the reason why I wanted to review this player is one, BR, representation, trying to see people from different regions, but also if you scroll over a little bit, we have this in the spreadsheet, which is current plus previous total. It's basically how many points they accumulated across the entire weekend. You can see here, 118. He had the most points of anyone this entire weekend because day 2, he won the day overall. Look at these day 2 scores, by the way. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1. What a beast. And then even day 1, he went 11th overall. So he had a really, really strong performance across the entire weekend. Also, shout out to him. He is live right now, playing on NA, smurfing it up. You guys can't see it too well. Let me move my head a little bit. But he is 11122 on his NA account right now in Emerald. So, seems like a beast overall, and a player that, I'm not that familiar with because he's Brazilian. I don't follow the Brazilian scene that much, but certainly seems like a very, very solid player, and I want to watch some of his gameplay to see how he did so well in, basically this entire tournament. It's really, really impressive when you say, a player was the strongest across the entire weekend. He basically, if you just took the 17 games across the entire weekend and had everybody play those, he would have won the tournament. But that's not how TFT tournaments work, because that's not as hype as having like a final day and all this stuff. All right, let's check that Exalted real quick again. Early drop of a Riven, Teemo, and Janna. Could be some kind of Janna game. Kha'Zix, Shen, Aphelios, Nautilus, and Silas, and Azir. Certainly, like, playable in some senses. I don't know, even Azir, Silas, Nautilus, I think could easily be fit late game. Maybe there's a Shen that you can fit in there as well. Opener-wise, sort of like direction-wise here, I don't really see too much. Maybe you hold onto the Rek'Sai and it's like Bruiser pair here. There's also these duelists that you could be interested in playing. It looks like he's interested in the Garen as well for a potential Store Reaver opener. So yeah, he's going to hold the Rek'Sai, he's going to hold onto the Garen. And he's trying to figure out what else he wants to hold. Looks like he might sell the Janna here, which, I wouldn't be shocked about. Ooh, okay, so already some really interesting stuff. Like I said, I want to pause and break down these little micro decisions, because these decisions can absolutely influence your early game. So he doesn't want to hold on to Teemo or Janna early here. Janna's a unit that I used to not really like in the early game, just because she didn't really have a home. There was no like Janna reroll comp that existed, but now this Janna Lux reroll comp, I'm actually a bit surprised he doesn't want to hold on to it. It is potentially because the sword gets dropped, but sword is half of Shojin for Janna, so it seems really solid. And then Teemo as well is another unit who fits into like niche reroll comps, but I think BioLuke here wants to play for the more just sort of like generic early game. I'm really surprised by the Caitlyn pickup, actually, because I feel like she doesn't synergize with anything. I could certainly see still Teemo by the duelists here because it synergizes with the Kha'Zix here, and we can maybe play some opener on that. But I'm actually pretty surprised by the Janna sell here. But yeah, wants to hold on to the Caitlyn. I could see it. Now he gets the Store Reaver opener here with Sivir, and he's got this Riven, as well as holding onto the Rek'Sai, or potentially, actually potentially nothing. But yeah, that could be the Store Reaver opener very, very easily. So it looks like that's what he's going to hold on to. Left side, we're most interested in holding. And we have some AD items. So it's looking like an AD game to me, i.e. Slam and then Chill. A lot of people have talked about how AD is a lot weaker on this patch. We got a patch coming Wednesday that will hopefully make that a little bit less of the case. But AD plays to just sort of generically lower cap here. Because we're considering playing AD, I would really be interested in picking up the Teemo, maybe just over the Caitlyn here, because if we can get 2 Fortune early game, it feels really, really good to play with the Sai Slam, so I'd love to hold on to Teemo here, and he does. I love it. Augment-wise here, Cluttered Mind, this is called Well Fed, I believe, and then I really do not like this Augment. They even buffed it Crown Guarded, but still, it's just not... The stats look so bad on it, and whenever I played it, it's felt bad. There's an interesting argument for the this Augment here. It does actually give you 4 Bruiser, right? Because we already have the other 2 Bruisers, the Riven and the other guy, but we don't really have itemization for them, so I don't think I would consider this. But I've tried taking this Augment and done okay with it, but there is some idea of like vertical Bruiser with it. I do not hate the Confusao Mental, the Cluttered Mind. So I think we can look at that. A haunted house here, I don't think it really makes that much sense. We do have IE Slam for it. I think there are a lot of people in this tourney who actually thought very, very highly of this this comp, this Ghostly Senna comp, and so I think a lot of them, like Wage and Iverson type people, maybe would actually take this Augment here and just force Senna from the spot with IE Slam. You could scout around and see if you're contested, but looks like BioLuke is going to go for the Cluttered Mind here. We are in gold subscription. Oh, I thought it was like a gold Augment type portal. I saw the word gold in what, I mean, I know Spanish and Portuguese, which I assume is what his client in is like Spanish, but not. So I can read a little bit of it. But I assume this was like gold, like golden finale or something, but no, it's gold subscription. Oh, okay. So we're getting a little bit of gold to start off the game here. He opts to not slam the IE here, and he is just going to sit on this board here currently with just the 3-Star Weaver. Next round, looking to get the Rek'Sai in, most likely. Don't think we're too worried about holding any of these units. Boom, there's Sivir too. A lot of stuff here, actually. And he's going to opt to get the Teemo in, actually. And probably hold on to this Zyra as well, I would think. So, yeah, just going to play for Trick Shot instead of Bruiser here. I think this makes sense with the Teemo. There is a Garen Hero Augment here. Yep, and we're going to fight them right now. This is Ripple Overdrive playing Garen Hero Augment already with a Sterak's and half a chain. Or I guess a whole chain, but half of a chain item here. Curious to see what Ripple ends up making here. Titan's Resolve is an item that I think a lot of people think quite highly of. And then you often really want cloak items. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes for cloak off carousel to go for Declaw. It's really not cloak items, it's just Declaw. All right. I don't know. It lasts 3 rounds. Oh, okay. Oh, Lamina Mortal is Death Cap, and Capuz... Oh, wait, no. Lamina Mortal is Death Blade, probably, and Capuz da Morte is probably Death Cap. Okay. We're getting there. I'm surprised actually he holds on to this Darius, too. This is actually... I mean, the more that I think about it, maybe it's kind of smart. Also interesting here to slam the Death Cap onto the Sivir versus the Teemo. This is something that, you know, I've talked about this in TFT before, but items just scale well with each other. So it sort of actually makes sense to put it onto the Sivir here. I actually do like that a good bit. Curious still to see what the direction is here. We can take whatever we want off Carousel. Like I said, in my opinion, I would have been down to just make an IE here, take this this Cloak Gargoyle here for Tristana, maybe even play what are we talking about here? Even play Fortune here, right? We would just have to have held that Koboko that we ended up selling. But it looks like he's not interested in that at all. He ends up picking up the bow here, maybe just to guarantee the last Whisper. He thinks that's like the most important item in these type of comps, and I mean, he's not completely wrong. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised actually. This Bioluke guy seems like the reverse Setsuko. I feel like Setsuko always in this position would be looking to get 3 Fortune in here, and it looks like he's really not that interested in getting Fortune in at all. Also kind of unfortunate that we had to we ended up slamming the Death Cap onto Sivir, but if his idea was to make Last Whisper, then maybe we shouldn't have slammed that there, because now we actually can't make the Last Whisper, and we're going to be playing for 3 streak next fight, which is a little scary. Ooh, there's Lee Sin, who is just a monstrous unit to play in general. Looks like we're thinking about getting rid of the Sivir, and ooh, whoa. Okay, I did not expect this, but I mean, in many ways, this makes a lot of sense. This is just going to be the full pivot into 4 duelists here. I was thinking of just still playing the other board with just a random duelist on it, but I mean, he is holding onto the Volibear. He held onto the Darius too. Really getting rewarded here for playing the full flex of holding onto that Darius too in the early game. And yeah, he picks up the Lee Sin. Now he's a 3-item Lee Sin, and he just opts to make Last Whisper plus Edge of Night here. So this can be duelists. This can also just be Lee Sin item hold for Reaper. We saw a lot across this weekend. People who were just kind of, they would play, you know, Lee Sin as an item holder. But yeah, I love this from Bioluke. He fully acknowledges that this 4 Reaper comp is so much stronger than Duelists that he's just going to say, I'm going to item hold Duelists in the early game, but I am not playing Duelists in the late game. This is going to be Duelists straight into 4 Reaper, which I actually love it. I'd really like to hold this Volibear here. Are we not holding Voli here for sure? I mean, the problem is you have to sell a lot of stuff to make 40 and still hold Voli. You'd have to sell a lot of these 1 costs, and then all of a sudden it's actually kind of hard. I think maybe you just hold the Voli and then you just sack the making 40 here. Because Voli is going to be... or maybe... Yeah, it looks like he's interested just not even in holding the Volibear. I don't completely hate it, because once again, he knows that he's going to be getting out of this comp basically after this stage. We aren't going to be playing towards Vertical Duelist later, so his thought process is like, I'm getting out of Vertical Duelist eventually, really in, like I said, exactly 1 stage probably, so why hold on to the Volibear? It's going to tax my econ, and potentially, you know, I'm not even going to find the Volibear too, and even if I do, I'm going to end up sort of like wasting gold on that. I could see it. It's my only critique is that maybe we could find a bunch of Volibears and actually just play duelists, but who's to say? Augment wise here, power of 3. I don't think Is this augment very good? You're playing. You don't play that many 3 costs in this comp, so I don't think. But I don't really like any of these augments that much in this comp. Looks like he's still okay, but then we get the sleight of hand as an option here, and you probably just take sleight, right? Yep. Sleight of hand, just a bit too broken of an augment to not take in a position like this. Also, there's a lot of good stuff that we can hold on to. Yeah, he was holding on to the York for a second, but opts to actually play the Yone just so that he can make gold here and still play a pretty good Umbral board. And he's even gonna. Okay, yeah, I like this better. For a second, it looked like he was gonna play Reaper, but I do like playing Heavenly more, just because Reaper is really just not that important on your board right now. Yone 0 items is not gonna do much. Heavenly into your entire board, some extra HP, is going to be a lot better than whatever Yone or whatever getting Reaper in is going to provide you. He did actually, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but he did toggle Reaper there, which I talked about that actually, I think I talked about in a coaching session, which, by the way, no harmless. Okay, self promo. If you go to my Metafy, link is in the description. You can join my my group called Sub-Zero Study Group, and if you join that, and at the if you join it at the supporter level, you get access to all of my coaching sessions, basically VODs of all of them. So even if you don't want to get coaching, it's much cheaper than say like buying coaching, but you get access to all the coaching sessions that I've done. I've started uploading a decent number of them recently, so there's probably like 5 or 6 on there right now, and I'm probably going to end up putting my my class on there as well. So a lot of bang for your buck if you're interested in coaching but don't want to spend a bunch of money. Speaking of bang for your buck, we have to take a 3-cost rod here. Okay, I don't know about that transition there. That stinks. We really would have liked to pick up a glove here for Hodge, I have to imagine. Yeah, really unfortunate actually that we get stuck taking this here. But whatever. But the thing to say is what I was talking about is that if you toggle Reaper, if you put Reaper in and then take it out, like we did earlier, this Yone gets the ability for his spell to crit, even though we don't actually have Reaper in right now. It's a bug. It is being fixed tomorrow on Wednesday, so you got one more day to bug abuse. Hey, if you were a subscriber of my Metafy, then you would have known a few days ago, and then you would have been able to abuse the tech for a while. So look, I only learned about it over the weekend, so because I just came back from my vacation, and like nobody tells me all the bugs, by the way. People are like, how do you not know this on the co-stream? And I was like, bro, I just play the game. Is it really my fault that I don't know a bug? Like, how was I even supposed to find out about that? And they're like, whatever. Looking at potentially getting Exalted in later. Yeah, that is Azir on potentially level 10. Because yeah, this is actually a pretty reasonable Exalted for us to play as well. It looked like very easy to fit in with the units that we had. I forgot exactly what units are Exalted, but we'll get back to it once he opens up Team Builder. But hey, Cluttered Mind here, accelerating our econ. The only thing that I would say is previously in the statistics, stuff like Cluttered Mind wasn't that good with like Heavenly. I think because they really like combat augments, but I think this comp might be broken enough that you don't even really need the combat augments if you can just hit everything 2-star, potentially next round, because we have a lot of gold to roll here with, did he overpump there? I think he did, right? Ooh, that's a little, because we're supposed to go up to 38 after, or actually no, 36. Oh, yeah, no, he did overpump there, right? Because we're supposed to be 36 after this round. But he starts pre-pumping, but he overpumps one here and accidentally wastes 4 gold here. I mean, it's okay, but it's a little rough here. But we do certainly need to roll down, try to find the entire board here. He has it all in Team Planner, which is good. Need to hold this Kha'Zix. There is an Aatrox as well. There is our Reaper man, our Yone, not Yone, but Kayn. I always mix up Kayn and Yone for some reason. He gets most of the board in here. This was not the quickest roll down we've ever seen, but a decent one. I like that he fit in the Irelia here. Smart stuff. So that he has, I assumed Irelia was going to hold the Morello for this round, but okay. And then a Sterak's onto the Yone, I think makes perfect sense. The other option would be like Shojin for Kindred, but blah. Yeah, this is a fight that certainly is winnable if we could have rolled down more of our gold. I think he got stun-locked a little bit by the fact that he overpumped the gold, even though it's not that big of a deal. Ooh, Little Buddy's fantastic augment with this comp. You have to take Amiguinhos. Wait, is that like a little pun, like amigos, and then I don't know what the other words mean? Ooh, that is a Kayn 2 on the roll down. There's an Ornn 2 as well. This is really, I like how flexible of a roll down this is, because, I think a lot of people, oh my god, people are spamming stuff in his chat, by the way. A lot of people, roll down exactly for like the 4 bruiser board, but he keeps the Ornn as a potential out here, ends up hitting Ornn 2 frontline. It fits really well with the Kindred, of course. It's similar to how you can play Rek'Sai for Dryad, and And he also has the Udyr that he can play around. So, I mean, a little, like, not the fastest roll down of all time, but a really, really accurate roll down. I feel like he picked up so many of the good units, and ending up, like, playing around this Ornn, I would much rather, when I play TFT, roll slightly slower and pick up all the good units than roll really quickly and pick up bad units. Yeah, I think you do take the 3 components here because you have rolled down and hit your entire board already here. The question is what items do you go for? Are you interested in itemizing this Kindred here? You do have a blue buff that is just on the table. The other option is to start itemizing stuff like this Yone here. It's also a little bit awkward that we're little buddies here. We'd really like to have maybe like a 3-item main tank in this situation, or like a Sylas, but we don't have that option right now, which is a little bit sad. But I don't like playing for what we might have in the future. I like playing for what we have right now. What we have is all this. So I don't actually dislike blue buff here. I think I would just go for blue buff to apply the Morello faster. Yeah, he certainly thought about it for a while. And then you take sword here. Sword can be so many items on this guy. BT. I mean, I guess you can go gunblade. You could also just take one of these and wait. You could just like take bow and hope you get, you know, like Titan's BT or something. Or you could just make the gunblade. I think I would probably just take the gunblade here because we actually do have a chance to win streak, and like it's not that much worse. But we'll see. Ooh, is it double Sterax? Double Sterax time. All right. He says, you know, like Gunblade's an okay item onto this Yone, but I would rather not settle for just a random Gunblade. I'd rather settle for double Titans here, which I don't personally love that much. I would love to get some healing onto this guy, speaking of stuff that I would love. So yeah, I think I would have, I mean, like I said, I would have gone for the Gunblade there, but hey, maybe double Sterax, and then we end up getting healing down the road, and maybe that ends up being this rather than like Gunblade, which is like a slightly weaker item. There's a Silas with a rod, which he does hover here. You could also end up just taking like a sword for a BT type idea, which is probably what I would end up going for. He does end up getting the Silas though, so I mean, yeah, sure, you take it for free. We are playing 2 duelists here, right? Who's our duelist that we're playing on this board? I mean, we're playing this guy, but the Irelia is still on the board, right? But we do end up getting this guy who usually wants to come in on this board. I guess the question is, do you end up cutting stuff? I can't see the Exalted over here because this is kind of annoying that his chat covers up some of this synergies. But like, what's your strongest board in this position here? We aren't playing Ghostly yet, right? So we could just go Silas Atrox for Bruiser plus Ghostly. I feel like that might be our best bet. And then we get to play a slightly better unit. The downside is you have to cut a much better unit in this Irelia. But yeah, he's just gonna play the Silas Atrox. Makes a lot of sense. And yeah, there's our Exalted. Boom, boom, boom. Fits so easily onto this board. So now our spot looks fantastic. The only downside is we did end up having to cut Behemoth here, which does feel a little bit bad because, you know, now our Ornn is just sitting here with just Dryad as its only tank trait. Maybe we can find a level up for Behemoth down the line. I mean, there's the idea of maybe, I mean, it's not gonna happen. Like you could get Yorick in as your Umbral, but we need to play Silas for the for the trait for Exalted, and then Atrox for Ghostly is also really, really big. So I think you just live with this. We get extra HP back from Ari. Kind of actually bad for us. I feel like this type of encounter tends to actually feel pretty bad when you're really, really healthy, because it's going to bail out people who are really low HP. Like these people down here who you can't even see who's last place because of his cam, by the way. But the person who's in last place here kind of gets bailed out a little bit. They get some extra lives, which you don't love. Also, looking at Tech Summers here, holding on to 2 Silases on bench, certainly annoying. This Silas is public enemy #1. Is that really what I want to say here? Wait, that's really cool tech. Is that true? That the Exalted... Wow, it does. I didn't know that the Exalted core actually counts as a unit for Cluttered Mind, so you can use that to clutter. Really, really smart stuff, actually. So he ends up getting to make 50 gold and using the Exalted core to just sit on bench there. That's really, really smart stuff. I did not realize that. I imagine we're going to hold on to this Udyr for potential level up here. No Cluttered Mind value this round because it doesn't exist. I assume we just want to pick up a Hodge, and ooh, there's a bit of an early level. I certainly would have waited a little bit, but I mean, honestly, he's so rich that he can just level, add the Udyr here, and I mean, you do probably have to roll a bit in this situation. I don't want to roll it to 0 there, right? Yeah, he's just going to roll a teeny tiny bit. Pick up the Hodge for the Yone, I would have to imagine. I don't really see what else there is. Yep, Hodge looks fantastic. And yeah, he just wanted to roll... Okay, this is interesting. He wanted to roll a bit, not too much. We are still just holding this Ornn onto our board. Our dream board would probably be just the 4 Bruiser, get back into that, and be quite happy with like a Galio 2. And then the Rek'Sai comes in over the other guy, and then we just get to play 4 Bruiser. But we don't have Galio 2. We're quite far from the Galio 2. It's interesting. to see his priority on rolling in a position like this, because he can still clutter, he can still go 10, he's 74 HP, and man, we're just seeing the power of Kayn plus good augments this game here. The little buddies value is off the charts here. He's not about cutting the Aatrox, but I don't think that's correct at all. You lose little buddies value right now. We're what, 1, 2, 3 little buddies value, so dropping down to 2 feels really bad. And the big thing is getting Ghostly in for Arcane as well, ensuring that we get Ghostly onto the target that he's hitting means we can shred tanks potentially a lot more easily. And yeah, he's going to do this little tech again. I mean, he could have held the Rek'Sai, but just holding on to the XP core from Exalted. So smart. I wonder if there's ever a world where we can fit 5 Exalted this game. I forget, because one of the Exalteds was Azir. So you would just have to play like one bad unit, essentially. Your level up would have to be like cut Ornn for something, and then Ornn for Azir, and then play another Exalted unit. I kind of love that as our late game board. I don't know if he's going to play for it. I think I read a Reddit, not Reddit thread, but a Twitter thread from Clement Chu, who tweets a lot about the TFT scene in like the Asian regions, and he was talking about how in the APAC Cup, a lot of people were playing towards like 5 Exalted with very specific Exalteds, and like I feel like this could be one where you could actually do that. Speaking of doing something here, there is a Reaper +1, but oh, that's gonna get yoinked immediately by, I think that was Prestavent. Yeah, very sad, but that's okay. Gargle or Hodge are options here. Okay, well, Hodge just ends up being our only option here, so I guess we'll take that. Throw that onto Kindred. I mean, it's a little bit of stats onto our Kindred, so not the end of the world, I guess. And oh, really? Oh, okay, onto Silas. I don't really think that's correct, but we're gonna do it. I mean, I'm often one to try to see the idea in the plays, but I don't know what world that Silas is doing more damage than this Kindred here. I mean, I guess we can look at the damage on the right here, but I feel for sure a third item onto this Kindred is way more valuable than a single item onto the Silas. But yeah, Kindred did way more than Silas. The Silas did die early, but I mean, that's what happens when you're a Silas 1-star. So I think maybe, I mean, it seems like Bioluke is someone who really likes to go for BIS. He probably is just saying, I'm Hodge, better item on Silas than on Kindred. I'll just greed for it. I have enough HP, and maybe I'll get a Kindred item off Dragon here. So, I mean, I could see it. I could see it. Our board is also starting to fall off a bit because we have barely rolled. We found that Kayn too, and then we're just sitting, basically, on this board with so many 1-stars, right? We have the Silas 1-star, the Nautilus 1-star, the Udyr 1-star as well on this board. Really the only things that we found early were that Kayn and the Ornn, and even the Kindred 1-star as well, right? But it's been enough, right? It's kept us alive so long with this Augment, and boom, we're gonna win another fight against Tech Summers. Huge win here, because it means basically that it's a free level 10. If we lose that fight, it gets a little scary, but even still, 60 HP here, an easy level 10. And he's very happy about this because he knows he's going to do quite well in this tourney. This is the final lobby, I believe, so, you know, popping off in the final game is always a nice feeling, but he still has to play for highest cap. He has to play for win out. Another Hodge here, I think, is the take here. There's a few extra bruisers, and he is just going to level here. There is the Galio, and it looks like, yeah, he is looking at just pivoting into either 3 bruiser or 4 bruiser. There is the Azir, so that's a unit that could come onto this board. He also wants to play the Wukong here. This is not Sage, right? Yeah, there's no Sage on the board, but just a good unit in general. I do think, I don't know, I don't recall exactly what Exalted is, but I would think the 5 Exalted actually would have been the dream team here. Just get the Azir in. The only downside is perhaps our front line would be too weak if we go for Azir as like 5 Exalted as our final game plan, but I don't know. It would be so cool and like actually might have got us there. But yeah, we have just pivoted into the Galio being more of our main tank here over, I mean, the Ornn still exists, right? He just got to add the Galio onto the board so that we have front line. Also holding on to this Kayn here, but I can't imagine where we hit Kayn 3 in this position. Top 4, and I think he's celebrating because that probably means that, you know, he gets top 4 in the tourney, something like that. Ends up getting the Azir in over the Nautilus here, yeah, because you're slightly better unit. And he's just going to keep the Udyr 2 on the board, so it's just going to be a 3 Dryad setup here. I mean, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, so my thought process would be Nautilus here, and then 5th Exalted unit here for 5 Exalted, and maybe that just gives us the damage to get through some of these boards. I feel like we'd be shredding people, especially at level 10, but it's a little bit of a weird angle. I just don't really feel like the Galio plus that other unit that I was talking about cutting out, which I already forgot who it was, are doing so much on this board. The Galio plus the Wukong, right? For just Heavenly, right? Really is not doing too much on this board, I would say. But hey, I mean, he's the one who's making it to final day so far in the tourney. Really just trying to get the best placement possible. I don't recall exactly what his final number of points was, but I don't know if like there are some tourneys where like your placement in this game once you hit like top 4, top 3 doesn't matter. And there's some tourneys where like this could be the difference between him going second and third, like winning some of these fights. Really close fight there, by the way. And Pressevent. Oh, this was the game where Pressevent was just taking names near the end with this this Wukong. It kind of surprising that the Wukong even did this well. For Dryad, actually, he gets to pick up with the Riven here. This is really, really cool. He now gets to Dryad, probably his Galio. It's either Galio or the Udyr here, but ooh, or the Silas, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's third item onto Silas. He also opted to just double. This man is a Silas lover. He really likes just putting items onto the Silas. Also, using the remover here to move items onto Udyr, I think is really, really smart. Yeah, I mean, Silas, not really a tank, but still quite a tanky unit, especially with the double Hodge. So yeah, we just Dryad him. Hey, talking about getting 3 items on carries is another spot where getting 3 items onto a unit feels really, really good. Close fight versus Pressevent. We just barely end up winning it, which feels great for us in this position, which means we're probably top 2, right? Pressevent ends up losing to Ripple here because Ripple's board's so strong, and we are just rolling it down, trying to pick up, I mean, ideally a Kindred too, honestly, but he ends up getting a Zir pair here, which is interesting because now, like, if he finds a Zir 2, you can consider moving the Kindred items off with this Kindred duplicate that we have on bench. But yeah, just trying to position, trying to get his Kayn to the enemy backline. There's not much that Orin can farm items for. I think he's farming item for Kha'Zix here. Oh no, it ended up going on to Kindred, which is pretty good, but getting through that Garen, really difficult, but we do end up getting through it. And I mean, once the Garen's dead, yeah, that's another dub for us. Ripple down really, really low. Pressevent, let's see if he ends up winning the fight versus clone. He loses to clone, so it is a top 2 situation, and we got one more fight if we win this versus Ripple, going to stage 7 with the pauses. We're at a 26-minute video. Hey, I've done longer, honestly. Honestly, I could have paused more in this VOD, I just said honestly like 16 times. I want Kindred item here, Kindred or Azir item. You probably rolled first to see, oh, or you don't. But okay, Death Cap seems fine. We have so much gold. It seems almost guaranteed that we're going to pick up this Azir here. And yep, there is Azir 2. I assume we're just going to move items over. He's also looking at Azir 3 possibilities, but I feel like there's no way you sell your boulder and roll for Azir 3 unless this fight gets really, really close. But like, I mean, we won the last time, so there's no way we're going to roll for Azir 3, right? Look, let's see. We don't actually burst down the Garen this quickly. Yeah, our front line gets burst down pretty quickly. I don't think Azir 3 can, or I don't think Azir 2 can carry this here, so we're going to go to one more fight. Oh my god. I mean, that was rough positioning. Once again, I don't think this is a spot where you sell board, and yeah, he opts to just sell for the Wukong too. I think this is correct. I think we can win this fight with appropriate positioning. That fight was actually really, really rough, where just Arcane got stuck onto the Garen here. You really want to be able to focus down that Garen with all these units. Ooh, okay, this looks pretty good, actually, because Arcane's opposite side from the Garen. The Garen is going to get a lot of his time wasted by this monkey, and also the Kayn ends up wrapping here. This looks really, really good. We just have to get through the Garen, and yep, that's it. That is going to be the dub in the final game for BioLuke. Ooh, look at those biceps, man. This guy's kind of swole. Holy. But a really, really nice performance in this tourney. A really, really cool game, this game, playing the Lee Sin into the Reaper's line and then playing flexibly around the Ornn as well. Like, I feel like he played this game excellently. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitch and all my other links down below. Thanks for watching.